By the way, the entire United States, they take about 1 million immigrants a year. Canada is 1/10 their population. We're taking 350,000 a year now. We're literally taking triple the number of migrants they are proportionately. I can assure you it is not for economic purposes, it's for political purposes. It's not an expert economic decision by Statistics Canada, or if it is, there is no expert in any other country anywhere in the world who has come to the same conclusion. The 350,000 person a year plan by Hussen and Trudeau is not an economic plan. Here is their own document. This is their own plan. Fewer than half of them could even be classified as economic or skilled immigrants. The rest would be refugees or dependent family members. So maybe one skilled worker would come, and then he'd bring his old grandma and grandpa, maybe from Pakistan, didn't have any economic skills, but boy, they sure look forward to receiving their Canadian pension and Canadian health care in their golden years. So Andrew Scheer tried to evade the question, as he always has. He has literally never gone on record before about what his number would be. Can you imagine that? He became leader of the Conservative Party without ever answering the question. He's been the leader for more than a year without ever answering the question. And he tried again on the CBC not to answer the question. Oh, I know what that's like. In fact, me asking him that same question is precisely why he quit talking to the Rebel. It was actually the last time he and I spoke. He was running for the Conservative Party leadership, and I had the temerity to ask him what he thought the number of immigrants should be that Canada should take. And he just wouldn't answer me. Remember this?
Well, McCallum has said he's going to jack up the numbers probably by 100,000. Do you oppose that?
Well, what's that based on? You know,
I don't know.
Yeah, so if it's not based on something logical or coherent, then I think it's just a political target aimed at, you know, to trying to win over a segment of the electorate. I'm not going to do that. One of the strengths.
So are you against that?
Well, I am against a policy that just throws a number out for shock value to try to gain attention. I want our immigration policy to be based on what the needs of the economy are, what the needs of our society, and then let's arrive at a number, and then that'll be defensible. I think your point is right. There are areas where, you know, people are looking and saying, well, do we need that many in this region? If it's based on common sense or logic, I think Canadians will be comfortable with that. But I don't think that they're comfortable with just a number for the sake of having a really big number.
I wasn't asking for shock value or for attention. I was asking what his number is. He had been an MP for more than 10 years now. He hadn't thought about it. He also evaded my question about cultural fit. Would he take just anyone who wanted to come, even if they had anti-Canadian cultural views, such as if they didn't believe in the equality of men and women, or if they didn't believe in the separation of mosque and state? He would not answer me on that either.
I'm talking about someone who, let's say, believes in polygamy, or believes in the subjugation of women, or believes in Islamic supremacism. That's not violence.
No. But you know, when you talk about the practical methods of dealing with immigrants, you know, here's a one-page questionnaire, and is that effective?
I don't know.
Are we going to police what's going on in people's minds? You know, is there room in a country for a difference of opinion on some issues that you might define as a Canadian value? Kelly might have something else, or a Liberal might think that you know, certain positions you should be kept out. You know, are these types of things going to be applied to, you know, Orthodox Jews or devout Christians coming from other places?
I don't know. I'm not running.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So that's why I'm not focused on those types of things. I don't think. Yes, I think Canadians want to see new immigrants come here and integrate and embrace and you know, celebrate our Canadian history, our, you know, the rule of law, our Westminster system, the equality of men and women. Those are all things, absolutely yes, and we should promote and ensure that new Canadians understand that and are willing to accept that.
You know, I went around 7 rounds with him. He never answered me once. It got tenser and tenser, and then he just decided never to talk to us again. But when Rosemary Barton put the follow-up question to him about the number of migrants this week, he actually answered. Here, take a look.
But you still didn't give a number, and you would have to set a target as government. That's part of your job, is to set a government. So a level. So if the target right now is 350,000 immigrants by 2021, is that about what you're looking at? Or
I think that's reasonable, yeah. And again, as long as that's coming from
from facts, from evidence, from a look at the situation and an understanding of where our society has needs, then absolutely.
So I think that's reasonable, yeah, absolutely. You heard him. The largest immigration numbers in Canadian history, more than any other country in the world proportionately, triple the rate of the US proportionally. And this approach that Ahmed Hussen has outlined that he agrees to, most of the new migrants will not be economic. They will not work. They'll either be outright refugees or old, unskilled grandmas and grandpas, likely with no English or French fluency, couldn't even work the low-wage jobs at Tim Hortons. They'll just take their pension in their hospital room, and that's reasonable, says Andrew Scheer. And how could he even say that, though? He just said a moment earlier that he wanted to examine the scientific facts from Statistics Canada or other experts. So how could he then just pronounce that Ahmed Hussen and Justin Trudeau have it just right? So he just said to her he would study the science, but then he immediately caved to her. Well, because it's not a scientific fact from Statistics Canada. That's not what political decisions are made from. It's about Andrew Scheer being afraid of the CBC, being afraid of the media party. He didn't want to evade Rosemary Barton a third time because he's afraid of her. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show, which is a show I do every day. I do a monologue, interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at premium.rebelnews.com.